A few weeks. That is all it took for me to replace my income once I learned this one boring skill. Not a year, not some overnight guru bullshit either that everyone seems to talk about. You get rich quick, you can make passive income is bullshit. Doesn't work. It was one skill, one boring skill. It was unglamorous, not sexy at all, but it made me money. But the truth is, I was dead fucking broke. I was just sick and tired of having people rule my life over me. I had no time, no freedom, no money, no say. I was working, obviously, as everyone does, from 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, Monday to Friday, living for the weekend. And the truth is, I wanted to travel, I wanted to see things, I wanted to experience things, but I couldn't do that because I was stuck working for someone else, making shit money. And the truth is, that is the reality of the majority of you watching this video. I know it is, which is sad. And if you are watching it, please subscribe. And here's the thing, I wasn't from some special background. I didn't have a special skill or talent. I was quite average, quite normal, and to be honest, I still am. I think the thing is, I was exactly like you are watching this right now. You're probably, as I said, stuck in a rut, 9 to 5. You're not sure what you want to do with your life. You're just in the rat race, as I said, living for the weekend. And it's shit. It's, I think the difference is nowadays, you can't thrive. You can barely survive on just one income, right? Nowadays, it's two incomes. The husband and wife both have to get jobs. I know this is going down like the tunnel of like Gary's economics, what he talks about and things like that, but it's true, right? You need two incomes these days to survive, and that's not even thriving. That's putting food on the table, taking your kids to do some activities at the weekend, maybe going on that holiday once a year, unless you're lucky or not lucky, but unless you are in an industry where you have the opportunity to have a very, very high salary. That is a reality for most people. Those things are shit. Like, it is shit at the moment. Making money, though, has never been easier. There's never been more opportunity. Online, working remotely, from your laptop, you can fuck off to Spain, Italy, wherever you want to go, work on your laptop, if you like, and make money online. Our parents could not do that. Our grandparents could not do that. So we are lucky. So with that being said, why is it that so many of you, and myself included a few years ago, struggle to make a good living online and make money? And I think there is one main reason for this. If you search for on Google right now or ChatGPT, how to make money online, how many different things come up, right? You've got drop shipping, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, TikTok shop, YouTube, obviously, OnlyFans if you want to go down that route. But the thing is, all of these things are perfectly fantastic ways, fantastic vehicles of making money, making a living for yourself. But the problem is there's so much information and ultimately, more importantly, misinformation online about what to do that people get distracted, people get confused, they get overwhelmed, and ultimately that leads to inaction. I am 100% guilty of this as well. A few years ago, I had a drop shipping store, I had a blog, I was trying to make affiliate marketing, I was doing crappy YouTube videos, I was doing SEO, which is what I'm doing now. I was doing loads of things, selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, you name it. Did I make some money? Sure, I made a little bit, enough to, buy a Freddo bar, which, by the way, fucking ridiculous. 39p last time I looked. Jesus, this country has gone down the shitter. Anyway, if you continually chop and change what you're doing, try something for a few weeks, give up, try something else, you will never, ever, ever make money. You'll never be successful, and ultimately, you'll never be able to thrive in this country. Why do you think Tiger Woods was so good at golf? Because he had one thing only, and he practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. Why do you think Michael Phelps was is the most successful Olympian ever and the best swimmer ever? Because he had one thing and he practiced and practiced and practiced. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And that is what you've got to do. So around 5 years ago now, just over 5 years ago, I was working for a marketing agency, and I'll be honest, up until that point, I was really struggling. I was bit lost in life. I didn't know what I was doing. I had the usual thing from parents, like, when are you going to get a real job? And I wanted to get into marketing for quite some time and never got the opportunity. And after a long few years, suddenly an opportunity came up for an SEO job. And at that point, and by the way, if you don't know what SEO is, that stands for search engine optimization. It's not glamorous, it's not sexy, it's quite a boring job. But I'll be honest, you can make a lot of money doing it. And at that point, I had done SEO for myself. I had learned, I'd failed, I'd learned again on my own websites, friends' websites, family's websites, and I was really in the trenches. And then this opportunity came up, I got the job, and in the short time I was there, I learned a lot. I also learned what not to do. And by the way, I was on £18,000 a year, which, as you'll know, is fuck all. I knew is that I wanted to make money online, I wanted to work remotely, be a digital nomad, and I wanted to travel and see the world and experience things. And I had this realization one day after overhearing conversation between some colleagues. I sat there and I was thinking, this wouldn't be too hard to do on my own. Like, I could do this and I could do this better. And I know for a fact I'm someone who I like to be in control of my own outcomes, and I like to be my own boss. So I realized, look, this is not for me. I'm going to quit. So a week later, I handed in my notice, and then I proceeded by, working my effing arse off to learn, to get better, to learn the strategies, to see the systems, learning, when the managers and sales team were on calls, what were they saying? How are they responding? How are they answering questions? Logistically, how the business runs. I was learning all of it. I was like a sponge. I was soaking it all up, trying to gain as much of a head start in business, if you like. And I leave the job, and a few weeks later, I place my income. And fast forward another year, I'm now making more money than I've ever made before. I've been on countless holidays. I've traveled. I've been away to Dubai, on safari. And up until that point, I was lucky if I could afford a short, long weekend to Spain or something. But I was making more money than I've ever made in my life, and I was doing it myself, for myself, my own boss, managing my own time, managing my own clients, and not having anyone tell me when I can take a shit, more importantly. Yeah, I'm still quite bitter, in case you haven't noticed. So listen, here are my 3 takeaways from this video. Number 1, just pick one thing, one money-making vehicle, one thing, and get really fucking good at it. It's as simple as that. I had shiny penny syndrome. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, right? Woman in a red dress, matrix, distraction, jumping ship from one thing to one thing, drop shipping, crypto, Amazon FBA, you name it, like I said. The truth is, I've made money doing SEO, doing marketing, because I've stuck at it. That's all I've done for the last few years, particularly in the last year. I've only done one thing, day after day, night after night. It's not glamorous, it's not sexy, it's boring, but it makes people money, so it makes me money, and I'm good at it. So that's why you need to pick one thing and get really good at it. Takeaway 2 is pick a skill or pick something that makes someone else money, because then you will make money. So as an example again, SEO isn't valuable because it's interesting, right? It's valuable because it helps businesses get seen more on Google, on ChatGPT, on AI, which in turn helps people book, get more customers, more appointments, etc. and ultimately more money, right? So that's the reason why I can make money doing what I'm doing, because I'm helping businesses make money. So the more money you can make for someone, the more money you will make. So I think ultimately my advice is stop asking yourself, what is my passion? What do I enjoy? And start asking yourself, what skills do I possess that can help someone solve a problem they're having? Because business fundamentals, if you can solve a problem for someone, you will get paid in proportion to the value that you provide. And finally, you'll be pleased to know, takeaway 3 is start before you're ready. Look, if I could go back in time, I would quit my job way earlier, but I didn't. Truth is, I was scared. Like most people, I was anxious, nervous, waiting for the right time. But there is no right or wrong time. In fact, the best way to learn is just to start something and do it. Just do something and learn. You need to be in the trenches, day and night, weekends, 24/7, 7 days a week, right? Be in the trenches, learn, fail, learn some more, then probably fail again. Start a business, just do something, and you will learn, and things tend to work themselves out. So I beg you, if you have a skill and you've been thinking about quitting your job for a long time, look, just bloody do it. And look, I get it, right? You've got kids, you've got dependents, you've got people that rely on you, you've got bills to pay. What will you do? You can't quit your job suddenly. It's scary, right? But do you know what's scarier? It's working 40 years of your life for someone else, someone who probably doesn't even value you. Working 40 years of your life, Monday to Friday, living for the weekends. That is scary. Just to be able to afford one holiday a year, and let's face it, it's probably to Benidorm or Butlins. No offense. And finally, I want to make this really clear. None of this is easy. It's hard. It's hard work. None of this is by accident. You have to be willing. If you want to work for yourself and make money and make good money, you have to be willing to sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice. It's all about eliminating distractions. That is the main reason why people don't make a lot of money, and the main reason why people don't work for themselves. It's extremely easy to come in from work after a long, hard day where you're tired and you're stressed and you're miserable. Put a pot noodle on, put your feet up and watch some shit on TV, probably Netflix, and watch that for 3 or 4 hours an evening. It's easy to do that, but it's hard to come in from work, make yourself a nice healthy dinner, and then get to work again. Focus. It's about trading comfort now for freedom later. If you actually want a better life, more freedom, out of the rat race, more money to support you, your family, your friends, and ultimately live a fucking great life, that is the price you have to pay.